Welcome to the Network Marketing Made Simple podcast. I am your host, Scott Aaron, and each and every week I'm going to come to you with short, simple, and powerful tactics of how you can grow your network marketing business, brand, bank account, and impact on those around you. And just remember, network marketing is not easy, but it can be made easy with simple steps to create the success that you truly deserve. So Adam, super excited to talk today for a number of reasons. This is something that my network, this is something that my connections, this is something that those that have or still do work with me need to understand. And obviously we were connected through mutual friends. And I think what's so interesting about you is that you got a very early start in entrepreneurship, as did I. But more so, you speak on, talk about, and help people with, in my opinion, one of the most important and foundational pieces to succeeding in business. And that's financial education, financial understanding. So I'm just going to turn it to you and let you say hi to my network and explain a little bit more about who Adam is and what he does for other people.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, for those of you guys that are actually watching this or listening, I would tell you that I'm just very, very excited to go ahead and actually be working here with Scott and, talking to the audience and talking to everybody that, he's connected with. I think one of the beautiful things about what he's doing is definitely, not only just awareness to the community, but, it's pretty awesome to go ahead and have him lead by example and doing all the things that he does. With that being said, definitely, I've been in financial services pretty much my whole life. I've been in this industry since I was actually 16 years old. I grew up with, many financial type of roller coasters when I was younger. Went off and simply, my parents were always, into entrepreneurship. They were trying to go ahead and be better entrepreneurs. And as you probably already know, that's not always, a good financial stability type of scenario. And there's so many times, things that I experienced when I was younger that I said to myself, you know what, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live like this when I'm older. I don't want to experience these things. I don't simply want to go ahead and, struggle financially when I'm older. See, the reality of it is the fact that a lot of you guys that are actually listening to this, you don't need a guy like me to tell you that people that make a lot of money, people that make billions, millions of dollars even, do not have the same type of financial education, financial literacy, access to, products, platforms for them to go ahead and be able to leverage their money than, a hardworking middle American, person who does, right? It's a completely different ballpark. So it is very, very important to be able to go ahead and get yourself educated, and have the knowledge and tools and strategies that will help you ultimately succeed, in the long term of things, right? Most people out there simply don't know where to go. They don't know what to do when it comes to their money. You got all these massive companies out there, right, that are actually talking to people. If they simply, only if those people have money. If they have money to invest, you know what I mean? If they have millions of dollars to invest, they'll go ahead and sit down with you, wine you and dine you, and want to go ahead and have you invest their money. But if you don't have the money, then now you have to go out there and try to, pay out some very expensive product, some sort of seminar-based type of business to be able to go and learn about money. But for me, I've always loved, the aspect of financial education, right? It's one of those things that I just simply have always loved for the game. I love working with people. I oversee hundreds of financial executives today. And, I would tell you the fact that one thing that we're definitely very, very, very committed to is definitely, the education, right? The financial literacy, being able to go and provide people with incredible knowledge and products. That's the reason why we're working with some of the best companies in the world out there to be able to go and give people what it is that they need, especially if they're starting a business. Right? Think about this. Nobody taught us how to go and file an LLC. Nobody told us about taxes. Nobody taught us any of this in school, right? And when you're going to go ahead and get an MBA in school or something, it's not like they're teaching you how to go ahead and file your LLC either, right? So when it comes to all these things, there's definitely people out there need to know this information now more than ever. It is crucial for them to go ahead and be aware of it, which is why I love the industry so much.
It's interesting, what you said, because two big things. Number one, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. So learning about the importance of having an LLC or an S corp or a partnership, and knowing the difference between different business entities depending
Right.
upon what kind of business that you have, but also about taxes. Not a lot of people. I know so many horror stories of people in network marketing that had a huge year. They made so much money in their opportunity, but they were basically making what they were spending. And then at the end of the year, when they were shown on their 1099 what they earned, and then they submit that to their accountant, and then the accountant says, well, hey, Adam, don't forget you owe about $40,000 on the money that you earned this past year, and they don't have the money. Now we're talking a whole separate thing. And I had to learn that the hard way. I was hit with tax bill after tax bill when I was first getting started because I didn't understand the power of quarterly estimated taxes and planning out every quarter, sliding money aside, whether it's, for your state taxes, for your federal taxes, for your local city taxes, if you happen to live in a city like I did, but also understanding the difference between, should you have an IRA? Should you have a 401k? When do you start doing profit sharing at a specific point? And all of this is completely foreign to people, Adam, especially in network marketing, because they don't teach financial education. But the other thing that you said is that, I got started with my financial advisor when I was 24 years old. We've been working together about 16 years. And he was one of those guys that said to me exactly what you said. He goes, Scott, it doesn't matter how little or how much money you have. I'm going to work with you and show you how to create wealth. Because like you said, there are those big firms where you have to have at least a net worth of $500,000 or above, or $1 million above, for them to even look at your financial portfolio. So with all that being said, what are some of the starting points, or where can someone start learning, or what do they need to know if they're not really sure or unclear about financial education and how they can better their financial situation?
I mean, one of those things that you have to understand is you have to understand the simple universal rules of money, right? There's one that is very universal that a lot of companies teach, which is actually called the Rule of 72. I don't know if you've heard this before. Rule of 72 is a very, very simple concept, but it actually makes the biggest of a difference because of the fact that the Rule of 72 will actually give you an estimate of how long it'll take your money to go ahead and double. See what happens. One of the things that I've always known is that the bank gets a certain amount of percentages, right? When it comes to their investments, right? Whose money are they actually investing? Are they investing their own money? They're investing your money, right? When you go to the bank, it's not like they put your money into a little golden box with your name on it. It says, all right, we're going to keep their money here, right? What they do is they reinvest that money with, many cases, insurance companies, investment companies that are out there because they're far bigger than banks. And what they do is they get a percentage and they actually go ahead and simply, go out there and give their clients a smaller percentage of that, right? In fact, that's the reason why I always wondered why they have little suckers when you go to the teller or you go to the bank, because they think you're a little sucker because of the fact that you don't know anything about money. You don't know where to go. You're putting your money like some sort of CD or something like that, when there are better places out there to go ahead and put your money into. I don't know if many people know this, but there are products out there where you could actually go ahead and utilize the same amount of money that you're putting away, just rerouting it into different products. That's all it is. Most people out there simply don't know where to go with this, right? They have a 401k. They don't know where their 401k is, especially if they're employed or something. Think about this. Most people, that's the reality of it, that they don't know where to go. They have a 401k, right? They have a 401k. They have they're like, I know I get a match with my work, right? I know that I get they take that money out, right? But, and it's going to be long-term for the time I retire, right? Sometimes they don't know their taxes, right? The penalties, age restrictions with the 401k. There are products out there, Scott, where you could actually go ahead and put your products into this thing, and you can actually go ahead and utilize this strategies where your money can actually grow without paying taxes. You can pull your money out without paying taxes. You could have liquidity after your first few years. You don't have to pay that money back like you would in a 401k. And not only that, but there's actually a guaranteed percentage on your money. So if the market drops, clients never lose a dime. You never lose a dime into these products. And if the market goes up, right? You'll actually get full market potential. In fact, let me actually share this thing here. I can need to be able to go and be able to share my screen for your audience if I can. But let me just tell you guys something. It's that it makes a huge difference, right? I mean, check this out, right? Let's just say that somebody has, and if you're just listening to this, just understand the message, right? If somebody has $100,000 in as an investment and they lose 50% of their money, how much money do they have left? They have only $50,000, right? But it's crazy how much we can lose. So double-digit percentages, like we did even a few weeks ago, right? And earn back 2, 3, 4%, or get that at the bank or something like that, right? But even if we got 50% back, the same 50% that we lost, does that mean we end up even? No. If we lose 50% of our money and we gain 50% of our money, we only get 50% of what we have left, which is only, what's 50% of $50,000? That's $25,000. We're only ending up at $75,000. People don't understand that Scott, if you lose 50% of your money, you need at least 100% rate of return in the market just to end up even, right? We've seen this stuff before. In fact, this is an actual performance of the rate of returns from 2000 to 2014. If somebody would have put $100,000 into the regular stock market from being able to go ahead and actually in 2000 to 2014, right? Then what happens is, how some years like in 2001 the Bourse bubble happened, and in 2008 the whole thing economy crashed. In 2014 they'd have about $140,000. But if that same person, same amount of money in the same amount of time, they would have put their money into some of those guaranteed investments that are out there, you would have that same $100,000 instead of just being $140,000, you would have well over $274,000. Now, my question to people is, if this was your money, which one would you choose? Obviously, pick the biggest one, right? This is something that everybody out there needs to simply know on what to do, where to go when it comes to their money, right? In fact, one of the big things that's very, very important to think about is inflation, you guys, right? The cost. In fact, I remember watching a McDonald's commercial a few years ago where they said, "Where does your dollar go now? What can you do with the dollar? Nothing. You can't even wash your car with a dollar nowadays, right?" See, if you look at, for example, the cost of living in the United States in 1978, the average income per year was about $17,000. What's the average income per year today nationally? It's about $40,000, right? What's the average cost of a new house in 1978? It was about $54,000. What's the average cost of a new house today? It's about $250,000. Just right here, it's crazy how our income has doubled, right? But the cost of a new home has about quadrupled. The average rent was about $260, right? That's pretty crazy, right? I don't know what the average rent is where you're at, but I know that it's not $260 anywhere that I know, right? The cost of gallon of gas about 63 cents back then. The average cost of gallon of gas right now is like $3-4. In LA it's like $5.50, right? Dozen eggs, it was about $48. Well, I don't know how much a dozen eggs today, but the average new car was about $3,800. The average car today is about $50,000. It's crazy how much things have cost. And the reality of it is the fact that people are simply out there, just living their lives, not planning for their future. And I want you to take something into consider this. With alternative medicine today, right, where people are living much longer than they ever did, right? So here you are, people are outliving their retirements, right? That's the reason why you have so many people out there that are in their 60s, 70s, that they're now excited to go and retire. And now it's like, okay, what do I do? Now they're getting penalties and taxes. So they have to go out there and make up the money that they're paying on taxes and penalties, and get a part-time job like at Walmart or something like that. It is so saddening, what's going on in the world of today. In fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's actually a world life clock in the US of how much debt the US is getting into every single day, right? So this is one thing, talking about this about money, and I know this is the reason why you're excited about this, is that it's one of those must talks about that most people simply don't, because they don't know where to go.
So I'm familiar with a lot of that, and the understanding of and the importance of diversifying your money. And this is something that I started doing at a very early age. And I have my money in multiple vehicles where it just goes out of my account into that vehicle, because that's the thing. It's some of that money you do want to forget about. You know, you need to be saving. So for the people that are listening to this and watching this, Adam, and they're like, okay, well, I know about a CD, I know about a trust, I know about a 401k and IRA, but Adam keeps talking about these other products out there that have guaranteed returns. What are some of those products that these people should start taking a look at that could really start benefiting their financial future?
There are actually tax codes out there. I don't know if people know this, but the 401k, a 401k is actually a tax code created by the IRS, and the 401k was actually created to be a supplement for retirement for people. It wasn't created to be a retirement plan. In fact, what I'm going to go ahead and be sharing this with you right now is what are some of those tax codes that are, that are out there. But reality of it is, if there's a lot of products out there that you could go ahead and invest your money into, I can even go ahead and help your audience out when it comes to these things, right? Because of the fact that there's actually certain tax codes that are out there that are actually insurance-based products, right? Where you're able to simply are able to go ahead and make this happen for people. In fact, let me go ahead and actually share this with you. What those codes are as we're speaking about this. Under the IRS tax codes, there's actually the 10172E, that makes your money grow tax free. The 7702, which is tax free to be able to go and borrow your money. What I would suggest you to do is for you to become your own bank, right? Why become your own bank is because by becoming your own bank, you have access to tax-free growth, tax-free access, liquidity in your money, right? Flexibility, right? Penalty-free and guaranteed in your money. I mean, think about this. What the wealthy have done is how that they've created this way of being able to go and have themselves become their own bank, right? This is what I teach. This is what we teach people every single day. And if you were to go ahead and create your own rules, wouldn't you create the best of the best rules that are out there to be able to go ahead and maximize your money, right? So becoming your own bank, and you can do it many times over with a lot of insurance products. A lot of people think that insurance products are, they're just kind of life insurance, right? They're like, well, I'm going to pay for it, and if I die, somebody's going to get the benefit out of that. That's the way of, in the 80s, 70s, 60s, right? When that was life insurance was used for. But things have evolved all the time, right? Have evolved and evolved and evolved, where that's not the way insurance products are anymore, right? Which is, and you look at who's used this since the past. Walt Disney used this in the particular products in the past, which is, you might want to look into this. Disneyland, after failing at the pursuit of traditional means of financing to build what would become Disneyland, Walt decided to provide his own financing. A large part of this came by collaterally borrowing money from his cash value insurance policy. Ray Kroc did the same thing, right? Ray Kroc borrowed money from his two cash value insurance policies to help cover the salaries of their employees, and also create an advertising campaign around emerging mascot Ronald McDonald. Right, you guys, I would just tell you this, is that these products, a lot of these things that are out there, is simply a matter of just knowledge, right? One of the things that I teach, talk to people all the time, is that if you had the difference between having a penny or having $1 million, which one would you choose, right? Most people would say, obviously, I want $1 million, Adam, right? But they don't understand compound interest, which is something that you need to do when it comes to your money, right? With compound interest, if you double your penny, that one penny that you get for 30 days, in 30 days, you actually have well over $5.3 million. Right? So which one would you choose? The one penny, if you're doubling your money every single day, that gives you $5.3 million, or just $1 million, right? These are a lot of the little things that make such a huge difference out there. And the reason why is because of the fact that most people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan, right? So what I would actually tell you is, as you're getting into this thing, right, as you're learning about these products and what are some of the things that you can do, is that look at different options, right? Don't just look at one thing that can go ahead and be beneficial for you, right? Just like the whole concept of being able to have multiple streams of income, you want to be able to go ahead and diversify your cash flow, diversify your investments, right? Think about this. It's kind of like a window, right? A big window, that has the little dividers, like little windows there. And if somebody throws a rock into one window, if you just have one window, what happens? Your whole thing's gone, right? If it's just a 401k or just one thing, or if you're investing money into crypto or something like that. But if that big window has multiple dividers broken into a lot of little windows, what happens? If one of those little windows are broken, right, then you actually have all these other windows left. That's what diversification is being able to go and plan out for your future in really big ways, right? And the wealthy know this game. In fact, you might have actually heard this the other day, where the wealthy know how to capitalize situations that create volatility, right? In fact, I was actually reading an article the other day that said Americans billionaires added $282 billion to their total wealth in 23 days during the coronavirus, and all the stuff that's happened, right? You guys, it's so crucial for you to go ahead and know out there what are the things you need to do when it comes to your money. And this is one of the reasons why I get so passionate talking about this, is because I'm that person that makes somebody have an incredible retirement, or somebody that's going to go ahead and have just enough for their clients and their people, right? And that's why I've been doing this for so long. And financial service is a great thing. It's a high paid profession, one of the highest professions, the highest profession in the world. And that's the reason why I was attracted to it. And when somebody said to me, Adam, all you need to do is get a license and you can go and do all these things. You don't have to go to school or anything. I was like, my ears went up and I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this again and again and again. And, it's been an incredible business for me and, all of my agents too.
Well, for my listeners, not my viewers, my listeners, I'm interviewing Adam while he's in his office, and behind him are multiple plaques and awards that he has won because of what he does. And it's funny, the first time that I heard about insurance as a retirement vehicle was when I went to a speaking event where I was going to see Mark Victor Hansen, who is one of the co-authors of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and with Jack Canfield. And Mark Victor Hansen was talking about wealth, and he was talking about how life insurance and insurance policies are a retirement vehicle that a lot of people don't speak about. And one of my buddies, he was a member of my gym when I owned them, my buddy Richie Ennis, he got into financial services. And he started learning all about these vehicles. And I've actually been working with Richie for about 5.5 years now. And I started with the normal thing that people talk about, which is your term life insurance. And then I got into whole life. And then I actually diversified recently into some other additional products within a whole life insurance policy. And again, these are all things that people need to understand. And obviously, Adam, I know that you could be helping so many people because, again, just like you said, most people in network marketing, they are on their way to becoming successful, and they think about, oh my God, for me to be able to work with someone in financial services, I need to be rich, I need to be wealthy. No, you can take any amount of money, compound it over time to create wealth, and that's why you help people at every stage in the game. You help people that are just getting started out in investing. You're helping people that have been investing for a while, but maybe not the right way, or people that have been investing for years and want to continue to diversify. So what's your simple message to those people that have not yet leveraged the power of insurance as a retirement vehicle and a moneymaker for them and their portfolio?
Definitely do your research and work with people that are not captive to one company. That's my suggestion. And the reason why is because statistics will speak for themselves. 9 out of 10 people have the wrong type of life insurance just because of the fact that products evolve, right? Whole life used to be a big thing in the 90s, early 2000s, right? But then products have evolved from there, right? Term insurance has done different things. Now people have one of the big things that I would tell you when it comes to your life insurance even is that if your life insurance doesn't have living benefits, you have the wrong type of life insurance, right? Because living benefits have become now, with very, very few extremely credible companies, kind of like the flagship of what your thing needs, right? Because think about it. When people have like chronic or type of illness or diseases and stuff like that, or 1 out of 4 people will have cancer now, right? And so therefore, when you do those things, most people cannot access their life insurance, right? So therefore, being able to go ahead and have living benefits on your particular policy. In fact, I was just talking to one of our agents about this because of the fact that she ended up getting cancer and she's ended up doing all those things. She's taking out like hundreds of thousands of dollars for her to be able to go ahead and keep on her lifestyle, be able to pay off her bills and do all those things because of the fact that she had living benefits on her insurance, right? Most companies out there are not offering that. It's almost too expensive, and sometimes it becomes as a rider. What a rider is an extra option, that costs you money, right? So a lot of these things are very important to know because of the fact that this can go ahead and cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you don't know where to go or what to do. So I would highly encourage you to go ahead and do your homework with it. I myself and with my team is more than happy to go ahead and show you what are the options ourselves. And this is actually, we do my whole group does, or free consultations for people. And just one of the things that people that have a license have is a fiduciary responsibility, right? Nobody's going to get you to go ahead and do something that wouldn't be better suitable for you than what you already have. That's what's beautiful about the industry, is the fact that you have certain regulations you have to kind of follow, right? But I would just tell you, when it comes to the combination of all of these, right, from the insurance perspective, the investment, and being able to go and add that big piece, which is kind of like a whole industry as its own that most people don't even have now, is the living benefit world. Right now, you're able to really kind of set yourself apart from the rest by having the right type of vehicles and the right type of products, from your neighbor next door that got his insurance from like Farmers or something like that, or one of those companies like Primerica, that's overpriced term insurance, right? So, just to go ahead and say this, it's just one of those things that you have to, you not only have to be a smart shopper, but it really is the first 1.0 version of yourself that starts looking at it from a, investor's perspective, right? Because every single penny counts, especially when it comes to putting your money away, right? I have a format that I actually show people, that I share with them, how much, I have a max and golden calculator thing that, I show people what the big difference it does when they're just putting, cents away every day. That makes a big difference if they're, compounding interest. And wait till you learn what it means when you have uninterrupted compound interest. Now you're getting into high cottage when it comes to your products, right? Being able to go ahead and learn all that. And I'm a big believer of diversification, which is why I have under my umbrella hundreds of companies that I work with, represent some of the companies in the world, even inside and outside the US. So
Amazing. So, Adam, this has been so not only educational for me, but I know for my listeners and the people that are watching this. So, how can people best learn more about you and the team that you have in place, where they can learn how to leverage some of the income they have to get them into the right vehicle where they can create even more income?
well, they can go and get a hold of me, adamfarfan.com, ADAMFARFAN.com. They can go ahead and actually reach out to me. I'm actually having my a book about networking and money, a lot of the secrets that I've actually shared with you. My book's coming out in the next 10 days. And so that's going to be exciting. It's going to be a free book that people are going to be able to go and learn about all of these things and how I build one of the largest connections, networks in the world. So keep that in mind. And also, if people want to learn how to become, their own financial person, I have a course that I don't really market or anything like that. People just simply know about it and they get it. You can go to wgmasterclass.com. And you can go ahead and become, a wealth, kind of like your own wealth, online virtual wealth advisor for yourself. And if you want to do that for others, that's cool too. But yeah, there's a lot of incredible programs. And when I talk to people, I always route them to, the best people that are out there. You know what I mean? The best people in their industry. and stuff like that. And I was just, yeah, surely enough, I was actually just with Mark Victor Hansen for 6 weeks ago. Well, probably before this whole pandemic thing happened, we were actually at the City Summit one of my buddies puts together, and we were talking about these things about the fact that it is so crucial for people to simply know and be aware. Sometimes people meet with their financial person and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, when was the last time you talked to your guy? It's like, oh, 6 months ago or 3 years ago. And it's like, okay, there's a high chance that what you have is outdated now, because technology, a lot of these companies are very cutting edge, and you're able to really get yourself grandfathered into better products that are out there. You know what I mean? But don't ever just talk to one person about just your financial tools. That's kind of, you'll obviously meet that most people are, you'll obviously find out that most people are biased and they have the one product that they offer, right? But you want to go ahead and definitely diversify yourself and diversify your people. That's what every single wealthy person that I know is, that they don't just have one advisor, one person, right? It's kind of like, because if you were going to go ahead and have multi-billion-dollar different companies, right? You're going to have not just one attorney for all of it. If you're gonna have an attorney for your entertainment, an entertainment attorney, you're gonna have a criminal attorney, you're gonna have an SEC attorney. The same thing, the same laws you have to apply, to be able to go and have diversification in your portfolio to different people that different have set skills, to be able to go and help you, arm yourself with the very, very best.
Yeah, that's very important to understand. So all that information obviously is going to be in the description of this video and this recording and this audio for people to get in touch with Adam and his team. And Adam, I just wanted to say first, thank you so much for coming on here and just blessing my audience and my listeners with just some really crucial information, because people work really hard right now.
Yeah.
They are quote unquote grinding it out, and with what they're doing, they could be working smarter and not harder. And I think you've painted a very, very clear picture for them. So that's number one. Number two, final question before we end today. What does success truly mean to you?
Definitely the areas of my life that have become very important, which is obviously I'm talking about a process of the last 15, 20 years. The fact that having money is not everything. Success to me is the quality of my relationships that I have with people I love and people that I'm in business with. People that I actually want to be in business with. For me, the quality of my relationships dictates the quality of my life. So, I want to go and have a good relationship with my family, with my friends, with people that I work with. And those things are very, very important to me. And, I just want to, that's success to me. You know what I mean? Being able to go in aligned with the things that matter to me, with my spirituality and my financial, my financial success. Three correlations. And I always love to be in business in a business model that helps me become a better person as well. And if you're not at a work or at a job where it's kind of demanding for you to be a better person, you're probably you probably want to look at different avenues or different people you date sometimes. So definitely for me, it's the quality of relationships and the alignment that I have with my finance and my spirituality.
Love that. And creating that connection and that trust and rapport with people is so vital and so important in any business that you're in. So, Adam, again, thank you so much for being here today. And I highly encourage anyone that has watched or listened to this to take advantage of connecting with Adam. And obviously, the easiest way to do that is Adam at www.adamfarfan.com. You can learn everything about him. And obviously, he has the WGmasterclass.com if you want to go ahead and look at that course. So, guys, please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
See you.
Thank you again so much for checking out this week's episode. And if you can, head over to iTunes, search for Network Marketing Made Simple, leave me a 5-star rating, basic review. I would be grateful for all of the support you guys can give me. And again, if you'd be interested in learning more how to utilize LinkedIn to grow your business, your brand, and your bank account, head over to my website, www.scottaaron.net. Fill out the form for your free 15-minute discovery call. so I can learn more about you, your business, and how we can work together. And again, thank you guys so much. Grateful for you all, and I'll see you next time.